Rwanda, a small African country, is known for its beauty, but also for a tragic history. Its two main groups, the Hutu majority and Tutsi minority, once lived together peacefully. But Belgian colonial rule favored the Tutsi, creating deep divisions and resentment. Belgium's policies had a lasting impact. They created a system where the Tutsi held more power and the Hutu felt marginalized and discriminated against. In 1959, the Hutu revolted. They overthrew the Tutsi monarchy and forced many Tutsi to flee. Rwanda became a Hutu-led republic. Over the next few decades, tensions remained high. There were several instances of violence and persecution against the Tutsi. Many Tutsi lived in exile, dreaming of, returning to their homeland. The situation was a powder keg waiting to explode. The world largely ignored the warning signs. On April 6, 1994, the unthinkable happened. The plane carrying Rwandan President Juvenal Habyarimana was shot down. Habyarimana was a Hutu. The crash also killed the Burundian president, Cyprien Ntaryamira. He was also a Hutu. The perpetrators were never definitively identified. This event was the trigger for the genocide. Extremist Hutu leaders blamed the Tutsi. They used the president's death to incite hatred and violence. Within hours, organized killings began. Hutu militias armed with machetes and guns roamed the streets. They targeted anyone they suspected of being Tutsi. What followed was, honestly, a horrifying 100 days of systematic slaughter. Neighbors turned on neighbors, friends betrayed friends. Hutu extremists used radio stations to spread propaganda, urging Hutu citizens to kill their Tutsi neighbors. They called the Tutsi cockroaches that needed to be exterminated. The killing was brutal and relentless. Men, women and children were murdered in their homes, churches and schools. The world watched in horror as the death toll mounted. The Rwandan Genocide finally ended in July 1994, when the Rwandan Patriotic Front, or RPF, took control of the country. The RPF was a Tutsi-led rebel group, and they had been fighting the Hutu government. The RPF's victory ended the genocide, but, the scars remain. Hundreds of thousands of Rwandans were dead. Millions more were displaced. The international community faced harsh criticism for its inaction. The United Nations had a peacekeeping force in Rwanda, but they were not given the mandate to intervene and stop the killings. In the aftermath of the genocide, Rwanda faced the daunting task of rebuilding. The country held trials to bring the perpetrators to justice, and they also established a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The Rwandan genocide was a horrific tragedy. It reminds us of the dangers of hatred and intolerance. It's honestly a stark reminder that we must always be vigilant in protecting human rights and preventing atrocities.